Selamat pagi. Good morning. Kali vanakkam. Zaan. Sat Sri Akal. It is a beautiful Sunday, March 14, 2021. Today is also the first day of Chet, marks the beginning of the Sikh calendar. It coincides with the birth of Guru Nanak. It is the 546th Sikh year. Chet also means to be awake, aware, be conscious of, turn your attention to, and contemplate on the essential things in life. Now, I think that message is very meaningful with what we are doing today. So, Happy New Year. I would like to welcome everyone to Pre-President-Elect Training Seminar Day 2. Thank you for tuning in, and let me give you a glimpse of what to expect today. Now, after this, we will have TRF fundraiser presented by past District Governor Siti Zubaida and her team. We will share with you how best you could fundraise and how easily you can do that. Then we will have a session on something that is very current, very now, mental health. We will have our Charter President, Dr. Raj Kumar, and his team presenting it. Adaptability, how easy is that? A man, a special man with a special presentation will come by at about 11 or so to share with us how that can be done again in a different manner altogether. Then we will have at about 11:30 four-way test competition, an international sister club, Rotary and Interact. This will be done by a couple of very interesting people. You will know who are they shortly. Then just before break, we will have each one bring one session under the membership development, of course, by past Assistant Governor Raj and his team. Then after lunch, we will have a couple of things. Public image, we will have past President Zhariff presenting it. Data, how important it is for you to lead a club. Past President Ashwin Nair will be sharing with you how it is done. And also, lastly, we will have build your club through strategic planning. Our Assistant Governor, Dato Dr. A.T. Kumar Raja, will be sharing with you because without strategic planning, you will not be able to run the show. We will tail end at about 4 p.m. and the training team will then come to do a recap. So you see, there's a series of fantastic sessions to stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, you know the rules. 1, handphone on silent mode at all times. Make sure your video is on mode at all times. And remember to put your name and a prefix PE, President-elect, just before your name. This is for attendance purposes, yeah? Please do not have your PE Samsung or PE iPhone. Also remember, we are streaming live via Facebook through our district page. Now, I want to share something with all of you all. Our FB live posts have reached to close to 2,000 people. Yes, 2,000 people, ladies and gentlemen. And we have till now 808 views on Facebook. These numbers are the highest ever that we have reached. So please share this with your district friends. Now, remember, these figures are very motivating, yeah, because we now know what we are doing is on the right track. So please keep sharing. Let's start today's event with the TRF fundraiser. Session will be presented by our incoming Assistant Governor Judy Chong, incoming Assistant Governor Jennifer Lim, and also together with the lady past District Governor Siti Zubaida. Let me share with you a little bit about our incoming Assistant Governors. Judy Chong joined Rotary in the year 2011. She's from Rotary Club of Bandar Utama. She's currently the chairman of District Action Group for Autism and the honorary treasurer for Disaster Aid Malaysia since 2017. Jennifer Lim, on the other hand, joined Rotary in the year 2011. She's from Rotary Club of Metro Kuala Lumpur. She was the former interactor, former Rotaractor. She was a former hotelier, now currently a homemaker. Husband, Fu Chi San. She has got children, 24-year-old, 21-year-old, and Aaron, 16 years old. Then, Of course, you know past District Governor Siti Zubaida from Rotary Club of Central Damansara. She's the chair for the Rotary Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome them.
Morning, Jennifer. How is Rotary Club of Metro KL?
Hi, good morning, Judy. Our club is doing well. How is Rotary Club of Bandar Utama doing?
Great, too. As AGs, one of our goals is to contribute to help club to contribute to the TRF and to give. Okay. And this is what we tell Rotarians every year.
We are Rotarians. We have an obligation to our foundation. Our foundation is the engine room for Rotary. The Rotary Foundation receives highest rating from Charity Navigator for 13 consecutive years in assessing how the foundation uses the fund.
Yes.
Why?
That's right.
One, it is the clarity in how we use our money. 90% goes to the project itself, 10% to the admin. And we are very clear in the governance and how transparent we are using the money. Charity Navigator also rate Polio Plus and Rotary Grant as top programs. Please give to the Rotary Foundation to support our causes.
Yeah, and every year, this is what we say to the club. Every year, we meet our club TRF goals.
Excellent.
Every year, we raise funds for polio.
Fantastic.
Every month, we include TRF giving in our invoice to members.
An EREY club, Judy.
That's right. Every president who takes office will have to contribute 1 PHF.
Good leader.
Every club TRF chair will have to contribute to TRF too.
Great example.
Every year, we support the governor to meet the district goals, yeah?
Thank you. Yes.
Yes, we do give. Good job.
Good job. Now, let's do a reality check. Now, how many clubs actually give? Let's invite our incoming TRF chair, past district governor, Puan Siti Zubaida, to give us some statistics to support the figures.
Thank you, ladies. Jennifer, Judy, how's being an AG? It's taking you a long tour with TRF, I'm sure. But as you said, you know, all our Rotarians have been giving to Rotary Foundation, right?
That's right.
We've done so well in all these years we have been giving, but let's do some reality check.
Yeah.
You know, our district, let's go back 5 years ago. 2015, 2016, 2017, we raised about 216,000. We had 1,682 Rotarians. But you know something? 27 clubs did not contribute to annual fund. 53 clubs did not contribute to polio.
Yeah.
Right? Let's go to the next year. We had 1,700 Rotarians. And again, 24 clubs are not given.
Yep.
to annual fund. 47 clubs is not giving to polio. The next year, we raise even more money, 367. But still, we have 12 clubs who's not giving. We have 31 clubs is not giving. And last year, do you know that we actually hit 963,000?
Yeah.
Of course, this thanks to our Arch Clump member IPDG, Leo. But again, you look at the numbers. 22 clubs are not giving to annual fund,
Yeah.
right? 44 clubs are not giving. Of course, these figures is right now even more alarming.
Yep.
Up to today, January, in DG Theo's year, 43 clubs have not given to polio. So, but our numbers are there. So where does this money all come from? It came from other Rotarians. It came from Rotarians who are really passionate and who really believe in our foundation.
That's right.
So what should we do? But again, the question everyone asks, where does our money go to? And how many of them really give? So let's look at our TRS spending pattern in our district for the last 5 years until January this year. We try and keep it up to date so that every one of us, knows what we can do in the next following year. Going back to 2014, why 2014? Do you know, Jennifer? Because when we give in 2014,
3 years.
TRF give us back 3 years later as our district designated fund, right? So, but 50% of that is kept in World Fund.
Yeah.
So we have money in World Fund, but 3 years later in 2017, it came back to our district as DDF. And then we split it. We gave to district grant, 24,000.
Yeah.
And we gave to global grant projects, the remaining 16,000. But unfortunately, we only did 3 global grants as international partners. And our district, we only did 2 global grants for that year.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's very quickly see what happens in the following year. The trend is still the same. We give to annual fund 200,000, right? 50% is kept in World Fund. We get 3 years later, 2018, another 50% back. We spend 58,000 in district grant. And then we spend for international funding, 3,000 too, because we sponsored, or rather we were international partners for an international project, only 1 global grant. And our district for that year, 0. We did not even do any global grant, right? Following year, same thing. So if you look at it, we had 7 global grants that we were international partners. And our district, we only did 2 global grants, spending 20,000 when we actually raised 200 over 1,000, right? So are we spending it right?
No.
We are not, right?
No.
No.
Same thing with 2017. Another 2 global grants that we did. But we have money in World Fund.
World Fund.
All our money, 50% is kept in World Fund since 2014. But it came back to our district every year, 50%.
Mm.
And this is what happened recently, we have these funds.
Mm.
But let's do a short analysis, right? Those are all figures. In short, 5 years, what happened? We gave 1.04 million to TRF. Do you know that?
Wow.
That's a great figure, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Then, and we receive how much? In our DDF, 50%, remember?
That's
Yes.
a
For
lot.
5 years, we have received back in DDF 523,000.
Yeah.
And we gave clubs 248,000 to do their district grants. Did
And
your
there is
club
no
do district
match.
grants?
No.
No.
You all didn't do district grants?
Yes.
You all did, right?
Yes.
But do you know that district grant, when you do district grant, there's no match?
Yep.
That's right.
That's
But
right.
we get clubs to do small projects.
That's
right?
right.
How much did we spend for DDF in global grants? 75,000. But World Fund match 100%.
Yeah.
So which means we did $150,000 worth of project.
Yeah.
And we also spent another 180,000 for international hosts. Again, it's 100% match.
Yeah.
So if you look at it, all global grants is matched by World Fund 100%. But next year onwards, because we are having COVID and all, we have reduced ARA have reduced world match to 80%, right? So we'll go that into later. Today is really about what's happening with grants. And we have, as name only, as international partners for 25 non-funding global grants, which means we don't put any money, but we just render our name because international partner is a requirement for global grant, right? But if you see this, you just look at these statistics, the last 5 years, you know how many global grants our district has done?
Not many.
Only 9 as host club.
That's right.
It's so pathetic. 9 global grants, right?
Yes.
And average of number of clubs who actually gave the money?
50.
Only 50. So what are we going to do? How are we going to encourage the rest of the, now we are going to hit 90 clubs, right?
That's right.
How are you AGs? Your role is to now see how we can get the next 40 to be giving, right? So that is your role.
That's right.
It's not easy, my dear friends. It's not easy, but let's make it easy for them. Okay? Let's make it easy for them. Now, how easy can we make? Can you give $1 a day?
Yes.
Yes.
We can.
Sure?
Definitely.
Good. That's what we want to do. We just want to do it very small. But if collectively, we now have what? 2,014 Rotarians in our district.
That's right.
Soon, we're going to hit 2,500 Rotarians. That's what our DGs are planning, right?
Yes.
So can you imagine if every Rotarian give $1? It's really not about much of the giving, but we have that passion to give. So everybody give, because at the end of the day, when you do the projects, everybody benefit.
Yep.
So we are going to introduce this little thing called Tabung kita. Remember, this is not a competition.
Yeah.
It's a challenge to every Rotarian, and it's a challenge to yourself because it is your giving. It's you who need to take out that money to put in somewhere as a habit.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
You eat every day, you drink every day. Why can't you put your little coin somewhere every day? So to make it easy, we will give you something where you can put your loose change in. Let's see how it works. Okay? Let's see how it works. This is just a little exercise for every Rotarian. Your AGs will inform you. We'll just do this little campaign sort of for 240 days, my friends. Just 240 days. Let's see how it works. Where does your money go to within these 240 days? How much can you give if every one of us give? We just talk about the 3 giving. We talk about Polio Plus, we talk about annual fund, and we talk about Yayasan. Remember yesterday, DG has got a goal.
Yes.
And how we should actually be using Yayasan.
Yep.
So let's give some to Yayasan. Okay. This is where your money goes to. For $1 for 240 days, you keep 60. At the end of the day, you have $60 US.
That's
you
right.
give some to polio, you give some to animal fund, and you give $10 to Yayasan. Okay lah, go up to $2 lah. $2, you get 120. You give again some to polio, some to annual fund. If you put another $20, you become the campaign of 100 US ERUI, right?
Yes.
That's right.
And you give 20 to Yayasan. Okay lah, up to the green buck. Our green buck is ₱5.
Yep.
Look at the green buck every day. Take out the green buck and put aside. Every day you see your green buck, put it aside. That's all we ask you. And you still raise. So can you imagine? Let's look at the figure 200 ringgit. If every Rotarian gives $200 US to the annual fund, every one of us plays a role in the Rotary Foundation. Every one of us oils the engine of the foundation.
Yep.
Every one of us takes that interest in the foundation. So we want to make it easy for them.
Yeah.
How are you? Can you all sort of convince your club members or your presidents?
Yes, we can.
You sure?
Yes.
Hey, that's
Absolutely.
your role, you know. Okay, let's move. Let's see what are the projects. Remember, we talked about the 9 projects, the
Yeah.
global grant.
That's right.
This was done by Rotary Club of KL Diraja. They have their BRDB home. And you know, their budget was US 122,000. And this is funded by the foundation. Okay, I'll give you another project. The Rotary Club of Bukit Bintang. They did the Orang Asli home. But if you look at the list there are so many clubs who are also party
Partners.
to that.
Yeah.
Whether they give financially or whether they participate as an activity, but they are part of the project, right? So that costs us 40,000 US. But did we raise 40,000?
No.
No, because only 20,000 was from our district.
Yep.
20,000 was from World Fund. The balance 10,000 or 20,000 was split among all the clubs. So basically you only withdraw what, 500 US probably each club
Yeah.
to do a $40,000 project,
That's
right? Damansara, and this is, they just got the approval. They haven't, they haven't sort of gone ahead with it. Another 45,000. Alostar Club, this is an excellent project. They actually got connected with the hospital in Alostar, right? They set up the equipment, palliative care in Kedah. Again, they spent 44,000. Rotary Club of Greentown, they had a dementia park, 32,000, right? Rotary Club of Cheras, I think you all are involved.
Yeah,
You've got our
yeah.
Daga chairman here,
That's
right?
right. That's
and
right.
how many clubs were involved? Although Cheras was the host club, I think you had 36 clubs who were involved with these
Yeah.
projects, whether it's financially or as participating clubs, right?
Yeah.
Rotary Club of Pudu, I think you have seen the video that were in the slide breakers, another 49,000. And last, or the recent global grant is 49,000 for our mental health community.
Yeah.
But is that enough? Can you imagine? 5 years, 9 projects, and it's so small. So this is what we want to do. And we've got so many areas. Judy, you want to just talk about our area of focus?
Yeah, the 7 areas of focus are peace building and conflict prevention, disease prevention and treatment, water sanitation and hygiene, maternal and child care, basic education and literacy, community economic development, and finally,
Environment, that's the latest area of focus for Rotary.
And polio. And we continue to do and to help to eradicate. I think yesterday even our DG was talking. The last 3 months, we only had 2 polio cases, one in
yeah.
Pakistan and one in Afghanistan.
Afghanistan.
But remember, we had our challenges in Malaysia,
yep.
right?
In
That's
So
Sabah.
this is
in
what we do.
Sabah.
So sebuah tabung kita, basically this project is very simple, my friends. And AGs, and all the AGs out there, all the presidents out there, just remember 3 things. What your $1, $2, or $5, or even the others who are very generous, keep $100 every day. Okay? Basically, what we would like to do is create more awareness of polio, and especially its reoccurrence in Malaysia. We'll never know what's going to happen. We're going to need those funds, right? The next thing is work out more global grant projects. We need those projects. We need the bigger projects so that we can be sustainable.
Yeah.
These projects are sustainable. And by doing that, you can actually work with every club. You have a group of what? 5 Rotary clubs? 5 Rotary clubs?
Yeah.
If each of your group could do a global grant project that costs you $50,000, isn't that great?
Yeah.
And the third thing,
Impact.
local communities. Some of them say, you know, our project is very small. We don't have 30,000 project. Support our yayasan. They have support grants. They have other initiatives. So if you give to yayasan, and remember, yayasan is
Has
tax exempt.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of corporate companies who can sponsor your project and you get tax exempt.
Yeah.
So
That's
remember
right.
this exercise that you're giving that dollar, just these 3 things, just these 3 focus that we want you to do.
Yeah.
And the choice is yours. We're not asking you to equally give. If you have raised, say $1,000, you want to give everything to global to your annual fund, please go ahead.
Yeah.
So it's your choice. Okay, this is the plan. What we're going to do. Every Rotarian, you'll be given a tabung. This will be presented to you by the presidents come 1st July. And then the president and TRF chair will distribute the tabungs to every member. And of course, you can place your tabung everywhere, in your home, in your office, get your children, get your friends, get your colleagues. It's just about giving. Ask them to give, right? And then your TRF chair will be given additional tabung. We'll have some campaigns in between. And this self-challenge, we call it self-challenge, will end 1st of March. 240 days, my friends. That's all we're asking you to have faith in our foundation, right? And the chair will then later assist members to collate all the funds, and we'll see how we can distribute the funds accordingly. For yayasan giving, you can actually give it as an individual, or you can collectively as a club give to yayasan $2,000, because everybody contribute 20 ringgit, 30 ringgit, and you can give to yayasan $2,000 in the name of the club, right?
Yeah.
And once you tabulate that, of course, we will recognize all the clubs, all the givings. But remember, if we give your club 40 tabungs, because you have 40 members, we expect 40 tabungs to come back.
Yeah.
Then we know that every one of you have
Contribute.
given. Whether you give $1, whether you give $1,000, it doesn't matter, right? So, but remember, more details will come up during DTA. This is just to share with you how important giving is, okay? So if you look at it, this tabung exercise is just how it benefit your club. Some of them say, it's just a tabung. How does it benefit my club? Just share it.
Involves every member of your club. And it's also an opportunity to visit your club member, especially those who have not been attending meetings. And it also makes it easy for members to give. Just drop in your loose change into the tabung.
The call for action caption on the tabung is a talking piece in your office. Share your cause with others, with your colleagues, with your family, involve your children and your grandchildren.
You see, when you drop your coins in the tabung every day, it actually becomes a habit. And that's what we want to inculcate in ourselves. Believe in our foundation, have a habit of giving, and we're making it very easy. And when it's open, these beautiful tabungs that we are going to give you, when you cut and remove it, they can become a very nice pencil holder in your office, okay? So you can use the tabung as a talking piece, talk about Rotary, why you're doing this. So it's a PI exercise too for your club. It's a membership growth as your club. So it's all in one, right? So at the end of the day, my friends, AGs, it's really not about, how much you give. It's really not about the dollars and cents, but it's basically about the joy of giving. And that's what we want to really share with you. Giving is something that has to come up from your heart. And this is just a tool. This tabung that we have created is just some sample pieces. It's just a tool for you to make it easy for your club members, to make giving a joy, a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
Put it in your office, drop a coin. Put it in your house. Grandparents, get your grandchildren around you and let them drop the coin.
Yeah.
When you're in the office, Judy, you're in logistics, right?
Yes.
Your clubs, the members, your clients come and see you.
Yes.
Make it a habit.
Yeah. We'll put
right?
it in the...
So this is where we thought to share with you today really about how easy it is to give. But at the end of the day, my friends, fellow Rotarians, remember, as Judy started, when she started very initially, the Rotary Foundation is the engine of our organization.
That's right.
And all these funds that we are collecting is to oil that engine. If we do not oil that engine, if your car, if you don't put your oil engine into the car, it doesn't move. And as Rotarians, we have an obligation. We have a responsibility, not to the foundation. We have a responsibility to the community that we serve. Your $1, your $2, your $3, right, is spread throughout the world. Projects in your hometown, projects with international partners. So it is all about giving, having faith in your organization, because again, I like to emphasize 90% of our foundation of projects goes to project fund. And that is why we are rated 4-star rating navigator. And we only spend 10% in admin. So do that, believe that.
That's right.
And it's now your responsibility, AGs, to go out there and talk to your presidents. We don't want to be seen as the governor going visiting your club. And this is the story that you always get. Governor is coming to beg for foundation. Nobody is begging. It is giving from your heart, right? So anything else, ladies, that you want to add on?
Let's give.
Support Tabung kita.
And please give from your heart.
Yes.
Thank you. And if you have any questions, please, Iswaran, if there's any questions we can share, but more information will be out during the DTA. Thank you. Anything else?
Thank you.
No,
Thank you.
Phone?
we're good. Thank you.
Tabung, you are supposed to give.
Tabung. Give.
Wait.
Thanks, Judy, Jennifer, and Siti. Next, we have incoming Assistant Governor Stewart, incoming Assistant Governor Datuk Sri Nelson Kwok, and Chartered President Dr. Raj Kumar with us. And their sharing will be on mental health. A little bit about the presenters. Stewart James Venner Peck comes from Singapore. He joined Rotary in the year 1986. He was from Rotary Club of Singapore West as the past president. Now he is with Rotary Club of Kuala Lumpur Diraja. His vocation is into healthcare and hospitality management. His wife, Fung, was a past president of Inner Wheel. Children, or rather daughter Natasha, Inner Wheel member also. Father was also a past president of Escort Rotary Club UK. Mother was past president Escort Inner Wheel. So we have got a line of people in Rotary and Inner Wheel. Yeah. Datuk Sri Nelson Kwok, he joined Rotary in the year 2014, and he's with Rotary Club of Kuala Lumpur Diraja. Former Interrector, Sekolah Menengah Maxwell, and also past National President of JC Malaysia 1992. He's on franchise. He's a franchisor and also a licensor. His wife, Datin Sri Carol Oi, and he has got children, 4 of them, 2 girls, 2 boys. Also grandchildren, 1 boy, 1 girl. We then have got Charter President Dr. Raj Kumar. He's from Rotary Club of Klang Valley. He's the chairman of District Action Group of Mental Health Initiatives. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have them.
Stop violence against women.
Stop the violence.
停止暴力。
Kekerasan terhadap wanita.
Stop domestic violence. 大家一起站起来，停止暴力。
Stop domestic violence.
Mengurai dendam. Hentikan keganasan kepada wanita.
Good morning, President-elects and my retreat friends. Thank you, MC Iswaran, for introducing us. So we will start with incoming Assistant Governor Stuart Peck, followed by incoming Assistant Governor Dato Nelson.
Thank you, Dr. Raj. And a very good morning to all of you incoming presidents and my fellow Rotarians who are watching in today as well. I'm just going to give an introduction to this very important subject, but as I was driving in this morning, I was looking at the beautiful blue sky. It was a lovely, crisp morning, and that's how I saw the world, as something very positive. But I'm wondering how many other people are able to do such a thing and have such a positive attitude to what's going on around them. And I think the subject that we're looking at that's being embarked upon by the district is so important that we should really pay a lot of attention to it. And I hope in the next few minutes, we should give you some insight into what can be done and what Rotary will be doing. The Rotary District Initiative is a great initiative, but as you're coming in as presidents to your clubs, you will have a huge role to play. And if you really want to support mental health, which we hope you will, then you'll play a big part of this whole mechanism within Rotary to look at where mental health is going and to help people out in the community. So first of all, how much do you really know about mental health? And I think there's no doubt that if we look at what's happening in the world today, we're looking at Malaysia, there's no doubt that when you pick up a newspaper, there's going to be something you'll read about mental health. Whether it's Meghan and Harry in America, one is supposedly suicidal because of family pressure, the other because he lost his mother. We go to the other side of the world. In Korea, we have pop singers who are committing suicide. We even hear of soldiers coming back from the battlefield, even in present day, with post-traumatic stress syndrome. Everywhere you look, there are issues. The problem with mental health, though, is that we tend to think it's somebody else's problem. We don't look at it ourselves, it's somebody else's problem. And it is a taboo. And of course, if we got someone in the family who may be suffering from mental health, it's something that may not be talked about. So what kind of mental health sicknesses are people suffering from? Well, most people will know about talking of depression, anxiety, stress, and bullying. And of course, bullying is taken on a whole new scene now with online bullying as well. It's just not physical bullying. Let me just for a moment relate to you a few other mental illnesses, and then you'll see really how extensive this whole area is. These are all mental illnesses, and I'm sure each of you can equate with one of them of someone you know or you heard of who's suffering from them. Anxiety disorders, behavioral and emotional disorders, bipolar disorder, depression, dissociation disorders, eating disorders, obsessive compulsive disorder, paranoia, post-traumatic stress disorder, psychosis, schizophrenia, autism spectrum disorder, phobias, substance use disorder, and personality disorder. You know, the list is huge. And I think for presidents coming in, there's at least one area that you could be looking at. You could contribute as a project for mental health, which would then be part of this total network within the Rotary District to help with mental health. Suicide, of course, is something that we do also read about, and we have adults, teens, and children all suffering from this awful end result, whether it's an attempted suicide or it is an actual successful suicide. I think one of the problems we live with here in Malaysia is that suicide is still deemed to be a criminal event. And so this adds even more of a spectrum of secrecy that people don't talk about until it's happened, and then you read about it in the newspaper. Just as a matter of interest for you, whether it's an interest, but these are facts. If you look at the mode of suicide in Malaysia, for example, we have the top 4 modes of suicide. Number 1 is hanging. Most of the suicides in Malaysia are indeed from hanging. The second is actually from taking poisons, either ingesting poisons, weed killer. The third area is jumping from buildings. And of course, now as there are more buildings cropping up in Malaysia, this is something that may well also grow. And the last is car exhaust fumes. People who lock themselves inside their cars and then put a hose pipe into the window and then just wait for the end to come. These are the sad facts of life and unfortunately death, but unfortunately not enough people are talking about it or doing much about it. So what are the statistics? What are we seeing happening here in Malaysia? And what are we seeing in whether they're going up, going down, or staying flat? Well, if you look at the adolescent group of 13 to 17-year-olds, depression is 1 in 5, anxiety 2 in 5, stress 1 in 10, bullying 1 in 6. And as I mentioned just now, bullying has now extended to online bullying as well as physical bullying in school. The suicidal tendencies are also on the rise from 96 to 2006. And with the numbers you can see there are increasing on those periods of time. Attempted suicides, can you believe it? 100 to 200 per day. And suicides actually 5 to 10 per day. Can you imagine that at the end of today, 5 people or up to 10 people will have taken their lives because of a mental illness? 6.6 per 100,000 or 10 to 13 per 100,000 is the figure. Suicide is the second leading cause of death for young people in Malaysia today, between 15 and 29 years of age. And many are unsure where to get professional help. And so, unfortunately, the statistics speak for themselves. The numbers are on the increase. And we really don't know at the moment what COVID-19 is doing as well, either with locked in, people who are in the house, children not with their friends at school. But whatever it is, we know that COVID-19 is having an effect and is having an effect on those numbers of mental health. So with that, I now pass over to Dato Sri Nelson.
Thank you, PP Stewart. I think I'd like to share with you this morning my feeling also. We're on the way from my home, Sunday morning, and you get traffic is so less, so it's so smooth, and then there's no stress on us, on me also. And this is the situation that stress is also causing some of the increases the mental health issue in Malaysia. And thank you, PP, for the highlighting all the causes of this mental health, and also the statistic, which is very alarming now. It's going up, more so during this pandemic period, pre and post. And now we are entering the second phase, the phase of the MCO now. And it's also isolation. Isolation is also one of the causes of making a lot of people, citizens, becoming more stressed, and at the end may result in the mental health issue. You can hear and you can read on the paper every day. There are cases of depression, suicide, as mentioned by PP, all happening. Why? Because of the stress. I think stress causes a lot of anxiety and makes a lot of leads into the mental disorder. And we know that we are not here to study the numbers, but we want to find some solution to it. That's how the Rotary Club of District 3300 can come in to play a role. And we have a committee set up already. And let's say we have some good project for the incoming president to carry out during their term of office. No idea? don't worry. The district committee on mental health has some very good practical solution and project for you to carry out. And let's hear us out. And we have the chairman of the mental health, doctor in his profession, to share with us on the projects and the ideas of mental health. We will have some big ideas. Okay, I'd like to at this juncture to pass back the mic to our chairman to continue.
Thank you very much, Stuart and Dato Sri Nelson. Now, dear President-elects, I think you've heard the magnitude of the problem that exists as a result of the mental illness. You know that something needs to be done. And the best part is something can be done. And something can be done by Rotary. The idea is to create a pool of mental health first aiders. Now, first aiders is not a new term. You know about Red Cross International. They were formed about 150 years ago, and they've made a significant impact in the world. First aid is useful because you don't need the specialist at the first point of contact. So what are the three roles of the mental health first aiders? They will play a significant role in mental health in our project by the District Action Group for Mental Health Initiative. First of all, they will be armed with the knowledge to find out the telltale signs, to identify the people who need help. They will guide, they will support them, and when necessary, they will refer them to the specialist. The big picture. Now, this is really a big picture. We are faced with a huge wave of mental illness, more so after the COVID pandemic. According to the professionals in the world, the psychiatrists and the specialists, they say this shadow pandemic will last for a much longer time. It will outlast the COVID pandemic. And as you saw the earlier figures by Stuart, you could see violence. This is manifesting as violence at home. This has been reported in many countries, the UK, the US, Australia, Singapore. Just because it's not reported in Malaysia, it does not mean it exists here. Doctors will watch for the fact that there are an increased cases of violence at home. Now, what is the big picture? Rotary District 3300, through the District Action Group for Mental Health Initiatives, we are embarking on a big mission to reduce the incidence of mental health problems, improving mental health in the population, and reducing the number of suicides. So this takes a lot of effort, and it involves a lot of people. Rotary alone cannot manage this, and we are in touch with the professionals in this country who are non-Rotarians as well. So it has to be a multi-point effort affecting all levels and in all parts of the country. So we are working at the level of the school, the colleges, the universities, at workplaces. We are also working on the frontliners, the doctors, the nurses, the policemen, the firemen. All these people will be guided. They will be given some form of training to handle people who are with mental issues, to identify the telltale signs. That's the important thing. If we miss the telltale signs on those who need help, they progress on to the next step, and they may end up in suicides. So that's the importance. We are going all out, and we're also reaching out to the public through social media, mass medias. And on this note, I would like to stress this: District Action Group has started the third Thursday talks. It's on the third week of every month for 1.5 hours from 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. We'll advertise, we always advertise this in the Google group. Please pass the message around, and you will be listening to specialists who talk about various aspects of mental health. This is so very important. Please pass the word around. We are going to continue this. This will be part of our project. So the other important thing I would like to share with you, as far as the big picture is concerned, is that we are in the process of creating a platform or a web page which has all the resource of mental health. Will also contain the hotline for help. We will be getting this done. We are on the way. So how does it work? Rotarians as well as Rotractors can apply to be mental health first aider. We are selecting the program that is most useful for this particular group and in consultation with the professionals. So what happens is we will be giving training to all these potential mental health first aiders, and on successful completion, we will give you a special badge that you can wear with pride and help the district achieve its aims. This is a project of District 3300. The club first aiders will liaise with the schools and the interactors. What we hope to achieve is to have at least a 2-hour session per month, 2 hours per month with the school teachers and the students. We teach them about mental health awareness, mental health literacy, so everyone is able to identify the telltale signs of impending danger. In addition, we would request the mental health first aider to conduct a survey during his monthly visit. And as per the survey findings, if there are anybody who needs help, they are in the alarming zone, they will be referred for further care. And we would appreciate if the club concerned would send us a report, just to keep in touch on how we are doing. So that red figure on the screen, as you can see, dear presidents, is yourself. You play a pivotal role. You are the most important person in your year. You're almost at, it's kind of an arrow, but you're at the apex of a pyramid. So dear presidents, I would like you to think about what I've suggested. Suicides occur, and whenever suicide occurs, there's an alarming amount of distress, sadness, and grief among the families involved, friends and families. They'll always ask the question, where did I go wrong? What was the matter? And I have a question for you. Could we have intervened in some way and have prevented this untimely death? Could we have intervened? The word is intervene. So dear presidents, here's a golden opportunity to intervene, and it doesn't take much effort. Your activity involves 2 hours per month, every month. And we are here to provide all the support that you need, the resources. You can save a life. I believe so. I believe we can save a life, but we need to know the telltale signs. We need to be able to assist, guide, and help the person who has these telltale signs. And if we can't solve the problem, we refer them. Now, if you recall what happens in first aiders, the Red Cross, someone comes with a bleed, you clamp them down, hold the hand down. And sometimes you get away with just that. Sometimes you got to pass the person along the chain of command to the nurse, to the medical officer, or the specialist. So we do not need the specialist to be there for every first contact patient. Now, this slide is putting not to indicate the statistics as much as to know why aren't people going for help? Number one, there is a lot of ignorance. People are not aware of the fact that there are mental health problems. They just say it's normal. He's a quiet guy. He bursts out in anger, unusual anger, So things like this. So we do not associate that with a mental health problem. Number two, stigma and discrimination. In all, the prevalence of stigma is very high among the Asian countries, and Malaysia is no exception. There's a lot of stigma associated. Oh, this guy is going to follow up with this psychiatrist. Something's wrong. We better stay away. Now, this is the other thing that we need to remove, the stigma. And finally, there just aren't enough psychiatrists in Malaysia. The world ratios, the recommended ratio is 1 psychiatrist for 10,000 people. Now, if you look at the whole of Malaysia, we are having 1 psychiatrist for 100,000 population, a gross disparity. Even then, the majority of psychiatrists are concentrated in cities and towns. So you have a worse ratio in the districts, in the far-end areas, maybe in the East Malaysia and North and Eastern states, of one psychiatrist for 200,000 people. Now that is the problem. So that's where we come in. Rotarians can play a role. We are more than 2,000 members right now, and we are going to hit 2,500 in the next year or sooner. We have an army of people who can help. We are present in almost every town in this country, and we have Rotractors with us and Interactors with us. So we can certainly do something very, very significant. Well, you know the statistics. This is mentioned by Stuart. So this is an appeal to all of you. Okay, I don't think I don't look like the guy on the screen, but this is an appeal, a humble appeal, a thought process. Would you consider this? Do you want to do this? Now, this is a service in one of the 7 areas of focus. Okay, the treatment of diseases and preventing disease and treatment. Okay, so now, RI President, incoming RI President's theme is so relevant to our project. Now, the timeline of this project, we hope to start this in July and to go through the entire year. And who knows, if this sticks with us, we can even carry on beyond that. So, my dear presidents, president-elects, please consider this. Please join us for the 3rd Thursday talk that is coming on this Thursday, 18th. I'll be posting this in the Google group. And think of what you could do. A simple act of organizing a mental health first aider in your club can make a significant difference. We hope to reduce in the next National Health and Mobility Survey, which probably will be ready next year. We hope to see a difference, a reduction in the number of suicides and attempted suicides. We want to show a reduction of all causes of mental illness. So here I rest my case, dear President-elects, and I'm happy to take questions. We are happy to take any questions that you may have. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Stuart. Dr. Sri Nelson, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank you.
walk off.
Be a mental health first aider and save a life. Thanks, Raj, Stuart, and Nelson. Now, next in line, we have an inspiring speaker. Now, he is special in his own ways. I don't want to say more, but it is best that you watch his video clip. The title of his talk will be Adaptability. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is with a question mark. Presenting to you, zooming in all the way from Terengganu, Zhariff Afandi.
Opportunity to work, to study, to live, to make friends. Ever since I was small, I wanted to do the things that I was passionate about. I never really thought that I couldn't do things because of my limitations. I was born without arms, but I never saw it as a disability. My name is Zhariff Afandi. I am an entrepreneur, a humanitarian, and an adventurer, and really just a person who's doing the things that he loves. My day job is working for UNICEF Malaysia. A lot of the focus area of my work is on volunteer engagement, which has been a huge kind of passion in my life. We get to do projects and work that hopefully benefits all children in Malaysia. In the work that I've had a lot of ups and downs as well. Every failure actually brings you closer to succeeding and getting to what you're meant to do. I studied psychological sciences at Griffith University. Whether it was the lecturers or the students, I don't think I ever was made to feel any different. And that really enabled me to have the kind of experience I wanted. It gave me the opportunity to work, to study, to live, to make friends, to learn, and to explore. I'm also really very much into music. I'm a rapper. whatever work that I do, the thing that gives me most meaning is actually feeling useful to the world around me. For me, it's really important that we all take care of each other. And so right now, I think one of my biggest passions really is doing things for the community. I'm very blessed to continue to do that.
All right, we're good? I think we are. Hello there, Rotary. How's everybody doing? Is there an introduction first? No?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so we are good to
ahead,
go,
Zhariff.
are we? All right, okay, I hope everyone is doing well. How many people do we have joining in today, by the way? Because
We have got
can't
close to
see.
200 in Zoom, and then live we have got another 300 or so.
Very cool. It's a pleasure. Thank you very much for inviting me over here. I am from Pulau Kapas. I hope the reception is all right. Let me just see if I can just make the reception a little bit better by turning off my computer Wi-Fi. Okay, so is it clear? Is my voice clear before we start the session today? Just
Loud and
double-check.
clear, Zhariff.
Loud and clear. And the video is good?
Yes, handsome as always.
All right, thank you very much, Rotary, for inviting me. I believe that I was told that today is a session with your president-elects, I think, of all the different states. Am I right?
Yes, you are.
All right, it's a pleasure to meet everyone and a big honor to be here. And likewise, I think it's an important thing that you guys are doing. First things first, I just wanted to share how much of a fan I am of the Rotary Club and the great, amazing work that you do with the community. So my name is Zhariff Afandi. As the video introduced, I am a community advocate. I am an adventurer, a motivational speaker, a published author, a community development consultant. Essentially, I am the person who I hope to be the best that I am. For me, it's very simple. Ever since I was small, I believed that I could be anything I wanted, actually. I really believe that I could do the best that I can. So I would like to start today's session by giving you a little bit. I believe I've got about half an hour with you. So I'll start with introducing myself and going to the topic of adaptability, right? So of course, when people think about adaptability, as you look at me, I was born without arms. And hence I've had to adapt all my life to a world that was, I guess, developed for people with arms. Essentially everything from your car to your houses, right? Your switches, to your computers, to your cell phones, everything in life essentially, it's more developed for people with arms, basically, right? So I've had to adapt since very little. I was born like this from a young age. I am 31 right now. No, what do you mean 31? I'm 40 right now. And ever since I was small, I had to deal with not having arms. But to me, that was fine. I had an amazing life. My parents, I was very lucky to be born into a family that was very enabling. I had a parents that were very loving as well. And then I went on to study in school. I was in a normal school. I think my parents always believed that I could cope with things like everyone else. They had that belief in me. And so I went to a normal school like everyone else. And then I went to university, right? I studied, first I studied law actually in UITM. And then I went to Griffith University to study psychology. There is a backstory behind why I took psychology actually. I think for me, back in college, I was actually studying in KDU for a while first. And in 2004, the tsunami happened. If you remember, if any of you remember, back in 2004 during Boxing Day, there was a huge tsunami in Aceh, Indonesia, and also in Sri Lanka as well on the Indian Ocean, right? And I actually went and volunteered there for 9 months actually. So I went there, I volunteered. Yes. Okay, so this is all these messages coming in, which is confusing a bit. That's okay. So anyway, I went to volunteer at that time. I was still very young. I was only in college, right? And that gave me, I guess that gave me my life purpose. That experience volunteering, that was my first volunteering experience in an international context. And it was full on. I thought I would only be there for 2 weeks actually, but I ended up being there for 9 months. And I found that I could do a lot there, right? I found myself there, I found my purpose. And then after 9 months, I had to go back home, and then I continued my studies, and that is when it became clear that I wanted to study psychology. So I went to university, studied psychology, right? And then after that, I went to Australia actually, and did all that myself actually. I went to Australia. I packed my bags and spent 3 years there, living all independently. And then I got back to Malaysia, and then I started working. Actually, it's funny, when I first got back to Malaysia, it was a bit of an odd thing, because I thought that I would be able to get a job immediately, right? But it took me almost 8 months before I found a job, right? And then when I did find a job, right, it was with the Breast Cancer Foundation, and then I built my career in community work as well. After I worked at the Breast Cancer Foundation, I actually ran a horse riding venture actually for kids at Denai Alam, because I've actually been riding horses as well since I was 8 years old. And then I went on and worked, had my own company eventually, right? And then a lot of things happened in between. And now I work with UNICEF Malaysia. I'm a published author, right? I wrote a book. And my line of work, basically, my main focus of work, or main passion, I guess, is about how can I play a role in developing myself. But now that I've understood and learned about mental health, about personal development, my main passion is, of course, about how can I help others reach their potential. So that's pretty much one of my main focuses right now, and the things that I do, right? So anyway, the focus today is all about adaptability, I believe. And as you can see, my life is all about being, all about adapting, essentially. Oh, thank you. Hats off. Oh, no. But anyway, so I've had to adapt in almost every situation of my life. When I was in primary school, when I first registered in school, it was a normal school, and actually I got rejected into the school, but I didn't allow the headmaster to just, to reject my application. I actually went and spoke to the headmaster, the principal. I was very little. I was probably 6 years old, and I asked my mom, can I speak to the principal? I went and spoke to him. And then there you go. I got to go into school, and in school I had to adapt because, the school environment, normal school, the tables and all that. But I still adapted. I think the principal was concerned, how am I going to write, or how am I going to adapt to the furniture? And at the end, we just made our own furniture. I made my own little table as well, right? And then we were concerned about how I adapt going to the bathroom and going to the toilet, right? At that time, I was very young. And then my mom hired the cleaner lady of the toilet to help me out if I needed help. And then later on, my friends helped me as well. And eventually, I figured out how to do most of the things myself as well, right? And so in life, essentially, it's all about adapting. I mean, that's just one small instance of me as a child growing up and adapting. And likewise, I think growing up, I really believed, and I was given the belief that I could do just as well as everyone else. However, I was also I guess my parents also taught me that I also had to work extra hard, right? And that was fine because I don't have arms, and so I have to maybe give 110% to get the 100% that everyone gets. And so to me, I just kept on doing that regardless of what people believed I could or could not do. When I was 13, I got my first scuba diving license. And again, people were wondering how can I cope? And I did very well as well. As I said earlier, I went and I learned horse riding when I was 8 years old. Again, I had to figure out how do I do that, right? And so I guess when we talk about adaptability, it's really about everyone has a way of doing their thing. Actually, everyone can do whatever it is that their mind sets, even though they might be limited to a certain degree. The limitations could be physical, like for me, my limitations is I don't have arms. Some limitations might be mental, right? Some limitations might be financial. Some limitations might be emotional. But the point is that we all have limitations, but we are able to overcome them essentially if we have the right mindset and if we have the right kind of preparation of the self to be able to adapt in any kind of situation, right? When I went to Indonesia, this was a place that was, when I was in Aceh, this was a place that was devastated with destruction after the tsunami, right? And I just went there with 3 friends, right? And I had to adapt, right? This was in a situation where it was extreme, ground zero. Likewise, similarly, when I went to school, I needed to adapt. When I wanted to go scuba diving, I needed to adapt. And that has served very well, I think, all the way to adulthood, essentially, that adaptability, right? So I guess a lot of people wonder, how do I adapt, right? How do I keep my mind focused on being able to overcome the limitations and essentially live a life that is full, right? I'm not allowing anything to stop you. I think the main thing is all about preparing yourself. Being a good human being isn't just about lying down and just magically things happen to you. I really sincerely believe that if you want the right things to happen to you, you need to do the right things. If you want the right things to occur in your life, if you want to live the way that you want, then you've got to do the right things, right? And what are those right things? What are those necessary things? So for me, I've pretty much spent my entire journey of life trying to understand this, trying to understand what makes us be able to be the best person that we can, what makes us able to do great, right? What makes us able to not be limited by where we're at. And amazingly, so the journey started by learning about psychology. I learned that, you know, we have our cognition, we have our emotions, right? We have our thought processes, right? And so it's actually very useful to understand how we work. I think that was a very, very important part in the growing process for me. For me, even when I was younger, from high school, in fact, I had an insatiable thirst to understand why I was the way I am and how can I overcome and be the best person that I can, right? And how, good morning, Dr. Thong. And so that was something that I've tried to be all my life, and I've tried to learn this and not just assume things. So I picked up from a very young age reading psychology books from Jung, from Adler, from Freud, right? And then that really cultivated my interest in learning about other things as well, like spirituality, like the self as well. And so I went to university and studied all that. I studied psychology, and it really did help. However, as I became an adult, I needed to readapt as well, because adulthood is another new phase of life. And I think most of you who are president-elect right now, or president, are you president or president-elect, by the way? Can anyone answer? I'm a little bit, or is there a difference?
Incoming president.
Incoming presidents. Okay, thank you for that answer. So and are you all pretty much young youths, right? Am I right? In the age group of youths?
Definitely young.
Definitely, absolutely. And so, thank you. I like this little bit of interaction. Sometimes it's weird doing things online, to be honest with you, because sometimes I feel like, am I talking to myself? But but anyway, yeah. So coming from an age, so I had to learn as I became an adult that, you know, we had to adapt to adult things, because in your formative years, when you're a teenager, when you're a child, when you're a teenager, you still have the comforts and care of your parents, right? And parents play, and just by the way, I hope I'm not regressing too much, but parents play an extremely important role in our lives. I myself am a parent right now as well. I have a 8-year-old daughter. And likewise, my parents played an extremely important role in my development as well. And so for you there who either are parents or have parents still, right? The new young is less than 60. Bindi here. Yes. Well, anyway, whatever the young or old is, that is just a number, right? But the point is, as you become an adult, you realize that it's a whole new ball game, right? In the beginning, when you're studying, right, you've got to pass exams, you're learning about yourself, you're learning about the world, you've got your self-identity to explore. You still have the novelty of youth, right? And really, in that stage, I remember that one of the most important things in that stage was to just give things a go. I remembered when I was in college, in high school, I wanted to give everything a go. I wanted to try different foods, different sports, different experiences, different places, different events, different people. I was just, we just had an insatiable thirst to want to experience different things. And this is where I think it comes, one of the most important lessons in adaptability, I guess, is courage, right? You can't do things if you are always scared. If everything you see gives you fear and stops you from doing, then that actually hinders you from the learning process and the ability for you to be more adapted in any situation. And so I guess one of the things that I can share in my growing up process is that I tried to do so many things. I wanted to experience different things. I joined NGOs. I went on volunteer expeditions. I joined sports events. I tried out just different things, right? Outdoors, indoors, in the sky, in the water, right? In the country, out of the country. And so I guess now that you are doing what you're doing, right? I think it's important for you to just continue that journey. So don't be afraid. I think if you can have courage, first things first, and if you can develop that courage within, that will help you definitely adapt, right? I like the little chats that are happening. So anyway, as I started to become an adult, right? I think one of the key things that I think was most profound, to be honest with you, is that there will always be suffering. I went through so many different failures, so many different heartaches, so many different losses in my life as well. It was not all victorious. It was not all success. I had periods where I failed. I had projects and ideas that I did that did not end up going as well. I had businesses that I established that went bust as well. I had relationships that I hoped would be lasting that didn't as well. I had people that I loved very dearly that died as well. And so one of the key things that I realized once you went through the whole youth um, phase of development and understanding yourself and formative years, you start realizing that you will always experience suffering. And this comes from an early age. This can come from your teenagers. This can come, but it becomes, I believe, much more profound as you become an adult, right? In adulthood, you will start facing a whole different ball game of experiences and challenges that you have to adapt to, right? There is, of course, your profession one day after this when you finish college and university, um, and you go out to the real world, right? And then there are also social and relationship challenges that you go through as well. And there are financial environments that you have to maneuver as well. And at that time, you're an adult. And so the only person that is responsible for you is you, right? And you realize that after you become an adult, and the novelty of being a child or being even a youth under the care of a parent transforms and changes. And so I realized that in many cases, both on a personal experience as well as my professional experience, consulting, advising, counseling different people and organizations, I realized that this is where that big test comes in, right? Adulthood, when you become an adult, right? It's you go through, yes, exactly, courage. So when you go through adulthood, you realize that, oh my God, right? Life isn't easy. I need to pay bills. I have responsibilities that are starting to accumulate as well, right? I am no more a child to be taken care of, but now I am an adult that needs to care for myself and the world, right? And so um, I think one of the most profound things that I learned in this process, right, was that we need to embrace suffering. There is a need to be able to embrace all things, whether we consider the things good, whether we consider the things bad, right? Who knows? The one of my favorite stories actually is about the story on good thing, bad thing, who knows, right? Really cool, simple story. There's an old man living in a village, and he has a son, and he lives with his two horses, right? And one day, his two horses run away, right? And the villagers, the way villagers do, they borak borak, right? And they go, "Oh, really? So sad that you lost your horses. Such an unfortunate thing." And the old man went, "Well, I lost the two horses. Good thing, bad thing, who knows, right?" And the thing is, a week later, the two horses come back with a group of horses. They made friends, and then it came back with like 10 horses. And suddenly all the villagers are like, wow, you're so lucky. Now you have 10 horses. Your horses actually brought back a bunch of wild horses. And the old man was like, well, good thing, bad thing, who knows? And then next week, well, being in a village, right, there was a civil war that happened, and all the young men of the village, no, not yet, sorry. Then the next week, what happened is the son was taking care of the horses, right? And then suddenly one of the horses kicked the son's leg, and the son broke his leg. And so he became a cripple. And so the villagers came and said, "Oh, poor your son broke his leg. That must be so unfortunate." And the old man then said, "Well, good thing, bad thing, who knows, right?" Then next week there was a war, a civil war between the different villages, and all the young men had to be listed into the army, right? Except for his son. And sadly enough, after that battle, I think 3/4 of the sons or all the sons died, and only his son was left in the village alive. So the man was like, well, good thing, bad thing, who knows, right? So that's one of the most, to me, I don't know whether that story made sense to you, but for me, it made total sense, because at the end of the day, whether something is bad or something is good, you never know, right? And so one of the most important things that I learned that helped me adapt and not make me so frantic every time, or not make me feel like I lose my mind when I'm in a so-called situation. Yes, there is a beeping sound. That is cicadas, by the way, if you hear. That is the sound of nature. Um, I hope it's not too bugging. Anyway, no puns intended. Um, and so, yeah, essentially, we go through things. As I said, we go through defeats, we go through losses, we go through failures, we go through death, we go through sickness, we go through breakups, we go through divorces, we go through lawsuits. There's just so many different things that happen in life. And at the end of the day, we go through war, we go through just so many things. And if everything bothered us, then we won't be able to live, essentially. If anything, not everything, if anything out there, right? Yes, sounds of nature is absolutely beautiful. Absolutely. And so, yeah, so for me, I guess, not going too much about this, but I really believe that we need to embrace suffering in that sense, in the sense that things will happen and we need to embrace life the way they are. So that's one of the most important things that I learned in adulthood. So as you start realizing that, does it mean that it's scary that, oh my God, if suffering is inevitable, what do we do? Right? Do we stay home? Do we not try things? Do we not fail? If we don't try, do we not fail? Is that the solution? I don't think so, actually, because as I said earlier, ever since I was a young child, I just wanted to give a go at everything. And so one of the other things that I learned, even in adulthood, I guess, was to never be afraid to give things a go. Right? So just give things a go. At the end of the day, you never know whether you fail or you succeed. This is where, whether it's a good thing or not, you don't know, right? What you can know on this is what you can learn, right? What you do know is that you have experienced whatever that experience is. And that essentially, like anything, gives you a layer of substance, right? Like all things, time, place, right? When you do something, it develops a layer of substance in ourselves, right? And so as it is, right, as we start realizing that learning is an ongoing kind of thing, so we learn to experience, right? And so that's one of the most important things, I think, is to not be able to be afraid, embrace the suffering, because suffering will happen, but it's really about how you look at yourself. And so when we think about adaptability, it's like imagining whatever situation you are or in or at, right? If you are well equipped in your mind, if you're well equipped in your body, if you're well equipped with your soul, it doesn't matter which situation that you're at. You will have enough roots to understand what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad for yourself. But you wouldn't know this if you didn't give life a try. You would not know this if you did not go through the learning processes of life, right? And
Zhariff,
that learning, yes?
we have got about 2 minutes, and I have got this question. Maybe you would want to answer this question. The question
Please.
is, can you please share how you manage family with time spent outside doing good to the world?
How
Can
do you
share,
manage family while doing good outside in the world, is it?
That's right. So like, how do you like strike a balance?
Understand. Good question. Thank you. For me, I believe that balance comes with understanding the different elements of yourself and also acknowledging that you're not one-dimensional. I think for me, it's not about wearing many hats or anything like that, but it's about understanding that you play different roles in life, right? I am a son, but I am also a father, right? I am, so yeah, so we play different roles in life, in profession as well. I am a consultant, but I am also a coolie, right?
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, I think it's about understanding the different dynamics that we have in life and not being consumed by one thing, not being consumed only with like one element of your life. So in this way, for instance, um, maybe time management could be an essential thing in this situation. I mean, it is an essential thing in any situation anyway, right? But managing your time in what, understanding what are you passionate about, what do you love, what brings you money, what brings you happiness, what bring, and if you can understand the different dynamics of your life and embrace the different dynamics, then you give the necessary time needed, right? Likewise, you could also encourage your family members to join you for your charity activities. However, I've learned that you can share, you can also encourage, right? But at the same time, you need to also acknowledge that different people in your lives might have different interests as well, and these are people that you maybe care for truly as well, and they might have different interests as well. And so you then understand that, okay, as I said, it goes back to understanding that we are not one dimensional, understanding that we have different parts in our lives to play, to do. And I think that helps. That gives you a perspective. There's something called ikigai that I always share and I always advocate for, which means life purpose. And in the ikigai spectrum, you break it down to 4 things: the things that you love, could be family, could be a passion, the things that give you meaning, could be your charity work, right? The things that pay you, right? This could be your job, right? And the things that um, love, meaning, pay, and things that you're good at, a skill. We all develop skills and interests. And so if we can understand the 4 spectrums of our lives, then we can, then hopefully for us, the key here is the balance. Sometimes we neglect our family because we want to do so much charity work. Sometimes we neglect our passions because we want to make so much money, and so we just focus on working. And so so when with that over skewed in one dimension, then you become unbalanced. So
Zhariff, that
that's
is
how.
really inspiring. Zhariff, once again, thank you so much. I like your background with words, birds chirping, and also green, fresh air. Yeah. So, Zhariff, no one else could have explained adaptability the way you did. Once again, Zhariff, thank you so much. It made so
Thank
much
you.
sense. It made so much sense, ladies and gentlemen. And one question that I have is, if he can do it, what about us?
Is there any questions from the floor that I can answer as well, or is there anything that does the floor have any questions?
So far, we don't have any question, but
Great.
obviously you have touched on a lot of areas which I think will be very helpful for the incoming presidents. So again,
I
thank you
hope
so
so
much,
too.
Zhariff.
Okay, lastly, I just wanted to say a big thank you for inviting me for this session. I've had a few very memorable experiences with the Rotary Club previously as well. It's a bit unfortunate that we cannot meet in person. However, I hope to be able to see all of you very soon as well. And likewise, I just wanted to also connect with you. Please do connect with me as well. I have my Instagram page as well, or Facebook, Zhariff Afandi. I'm happy to connect and answer anything of your inquiries. And likewise, if you would like to find my book, it is available at MPH or MPH Online. right? It's called SOS, Surfing Out Stuff. As you can see, I'm very much into the beach. One of my passions is water. And so I hope that we can connect. I hope that you have benefited from this or felt like you've brought something positive from my session. And again, thanks a lot, Nate.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Benefited? Definitely. Thank you so much, Zhariff. We have got lots of audiences in the studio, and I think you can hear them clapping hands. Yeah, thank you so much. Really, really inspiring. And yes, we will definitely catch up. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Zhariff Afandi, you know the IG, SOS is his book. So go get it, read, and be inspired. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. Have a good
Thank you.
Sunday and enjoy the rest of the session.
You too, my friend. Thank you. So our next session is about four-way test competition and international sister club, Rotary and Interact. To present this, we have incoming Assistant Governor, Captain Murugesan Ayasamy. Now, Captain Muru, for short, joined Rotary in the year 2015. He was the charter member of Rotary Club of Nilai Central. He is very well known in Negeri Sembilan with the many activities around charity. He also works very closely with the Department of the Women and Welfare Negeri Sembilan. His vocation, marine oil and gas, diversified, country manager and also a director, wife, Sugeswari Sugumaran, and children, or rather a son, Vasigaran Murugesan, 19 years old. Another presenter will be incoming Assistant Governor John Sundaresan Jayaratnam. He joined Rotary in the year 2008. Rotary Club of Klang is where he comes from. He is an electrical engineer, wife Radha, children Manisha 12 years old and Dinesh 8-year-old. Then we have got Rotarian Neeraj Chabra. He was an interactor with Victoria Institution, then a Rotaractor, and now a Rotarian with Rotary Club of Kuala Lumpur Diraja. He is the District Rotaract Chair. Together with these three gentlemen, one more person would be Joshua Tang. He is the District Rotaract Representative-elect from Rotaract Club of Ampang. Ladies and gentlemen, let's watch them.
What is Rotary? Rotary is a voluntary, non-profit, non-governmental, non-religious organization of industry professionals and academics working in intertwined autonomous networks providing self-education, exchange of knowledge, and humanitarian aid. It might sound complex, but it's built on a very simple philosophy. You go through life, working, studying, and taking care of your loved ones. But at some point, you might stop and feel a spark, an urge to not only do good, but to help others as well as yourself. Throughout life, you've had tons of ideas. All of them might not have been the most complex or the most developed, but it's the thought that counts, isn't it? When an idea is introduced into the Rotarian network, and we exchange thoughts, knowledge, and experience, ideas grow along with ourselves and are brought into reality. That is what Rotary is. We know that simple thoughts can become the beginning of something huge and life-changing for millions of people around the world. For us, it has led to projects like local mentorship programs, providing clean water, building schools, disease awareness campaigns, scholarships, exchange programs, wigs for cancer patients, teaching kids karate, providing medical care, blood donations, fighting illiteracy, protecting mothers and children, and emergency food supplies. And to think that our first project was a public toilet, and now we're on the brink of eradicating polio. We believe that with the right people, the smallest thing can make a huge difference. So when you feel the spark, remember Rotary.
District Governor Teo, incoming District Governor Datuk Bindi, my fellow Rotarians, Rotaractors, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Now, please allow me to well, I know the introduction was really good. Please allow me to introduce us. I'm Niraj. There's Lang Chai next to me is DRR Joshua, incoming AG John, and incoming AG Captain Muru. Now, we're here this morning to talk to you about a topic that is very close to our hearts. We're going to talk about the youth and how the youth are relevant to you, not just in terms of building your membership, but also building a relationship with them. I like the saying that a family that plays together stays together. So we're going to be touching about two topics. Oh, the clicker, sorry. Okay, we're going to be touching about two topics. The first one is sister clubs matching. And the second one is the World Peace and the four-way test essay writing competition. Now, we're going to do it topic by topic. We're going to do a wrap up to make sure that everybody doesn't get everything mixed up. And before I pass it on to DRR Joshua to say a few words, I would actually like to congratulate the Rotary team, DRR Lee Kun and Joshua, for successfully hosting the first virtual APRRC, which was held yesterday. So please give them a big round of applause. Now, Joshua, I'll pass it on over to you.
Thank you, Niraj. A very good morning to all the respected Rotary leaders for spending your Sunday morning with us here today. My name is Joshua, and I'm the incoming District Rotary representative from Rotary Club Ampang. And today I'll be talking about sister club matching. So before we start, I just want to ask all of you a very simple question. What is one thing that you really miss during this pandemic? And I believe I can say for all of us that the one thing that we miss the most is traveling. So that is the situation that we are all in right now. The current situation does not allow for us to travel. And with that, we are missing so much of the physical essence of connecting, of bonding, of fellowship with our fellow Rotaractors, Rotarians from all over the world. But it's funny how the members of the Rotary family always sees opportunities in these problems. And with that, what opportunities that we have seen is that there is an advancement in technology, and there is also a need to fill that fellowship gap. So another very simple question. What is the one application that you've been using a lot during this pandemic? I don't think it's TikTok.
Zoom.
It's Zoom, correct. And for all of you that are watching us here right now in Zoom, that is what we are doing. So what we want to do and what we want to present today is to encourage participation through international understanding using the technologies that are present in the market today, like Zoom. So what are some of the benefits that it will bring to the Rotary clubs and the Interact clubs? There's definitely a bunch of benefits, but one of it is that we get to initiate joint projects to impact more lives. And how we can achieve this is by exchanging ideas, building relationship. And there's this quote that I really like, which is to think locally and to act globally and to impact more lives. So some of you may know that in 2022, Rotary International will be allowing Rotary clubs to apply for global grants. So with that, isn't the best time to act now? I think so. So on that note, what the District Rotary Joint Committee will be providing is that we're going to streamline all these processes. We're going to assist in the matching. We're going to connect with the districts worldwide, get buy-in from counterparts, circulate the list of clubs who are interested in a sister club partnership. And all the Rotary clubs and the Interact clubs need to do is very simple. It is just to choose from the list provided, to initiate contact, to sign the sister club agreement, and have at least 2 joint virtual meetings. And last but not least, it is to organize at least 1 joint project. Throughout my years in Rotary, I've seen a lot of creative projects that are being run by Rotary, Rotaract alike. And I believe this is an easy task for all of us to do. Now, before I pass the floor to Niraj, I just want to say that I have made some observations yesterday. This is a very close to heart observation that I made, and it really disappoints me to say this. So, as some of you may be aware, yesterday was our first ever virtual Asia Pacific Regional Rotaract Conference. And Malaysia actually won the bid 2 years ago, and we were the hosting country of such a big scale international event. But it really pains me to say that there were less than 30 members, 30 Rotaractors that actually attended the virtual conference. We have 35 Rotaract clubs in the district. What this means is that we have less than 1 Rotaract from each club joining the virtual conference. For such a big scale international event, and it's free, it really pains me for the effort that was given into this big scale international project to see such little support from the local Rotaractors. So I urge all of you Rotary leaders to please give your support to really urge your Rotaractors, your interactors to be more proactive in district events and also international events. This will be accomplished with the help of both Rotaract leaders and the Rotary leaders. It can't work and it can't be successful without any one of us. So with that, thank you for your time. I'll pass the floor to Niraj to continue on from here. Thank you.
Okay, as you heard, ladies and gentlemen, I would actually like to now pass on to the other 2 members of our team to actually share their views and opinions on the Sister Clubs topic. Gentlemen.
Okay, my dear presidents, as you are not aware at the moment, but starting from the year 2022, there'll be grants available for you to apply. So in order to apply, you have to make sure that your host club, the Rotary Club which you belong to, has a sister club. So you have to work with your presidents and your Rotary chair to get those grants approved.
Okay. Salam bersih, muafakat dan sejahtera. Okay, first of all, for us at the club level, I think most of the Rotary clubs will be questioning is like, this is to do with Rotaractors, interactors. My club don't have a Rotaract club. We don't have an interact club. And how is it relevant to our club? So I would say that for us to see the health of our own Rotaract situation in Malaysia, we just heard that the EAPRC, which was hosted by Malaysia, attended by less than 30 people from Malaysia. So this already states, and the country of Philippines has sent more Rotaractors for the EAPRC than our own host nation, Malaysia. So I think this reflects what would have been, in fact, if we had Rotaract Assembly or Rotaract Conference in physical terms right now with the new norm. So I think for us as Rotary clubs in the district, we need to work together with the district and this is the time for us to build where we need to new Rotaract clubs or Interact clubs. At the same time, enhance the existing clubs and build a bridge between the generation gap so that we will have better Rotaract representation in coming years during the APRC. At the same time, also, these projects like the World Peace and the four-way test essay writing competition will be the tool for the clubs to use to make them, to bring the Rotaractors more involved, and also to involve their participation into the main Rotary Club's events. So we believe that by doing so, it will encourage and simulate the Rotary clubs better, and they will look up to us. That's the main idea, where we want our Rotaractors and interactors to be relating to us as mentors and motivators. Thank you.
Just to add on, for Rotaractors that have tuned in, I'm going to make this as simple as possible for those of y'all who do not understand how global grants work. Basically, your Rotary Club initiates a project, for example, bringing water to the Orang Asli villages in Malaysia. Now you find a sister club overseas that also has similar interests and wants to partake in the same project. Okay, you raise RM1, they raise RM1. Global grants gets you additional RM2. So now instead of having RM1 to do the project, you now have 4. And that does not include the support from your Rotary Club if they too are interested in a similar project. So potentially your RM4 from RM1 can become RM10, RM12, RM20 with the Rotary resources. What I'm trying to say is it's a good opportunity for Rotary and Rotaract to work together to share resources and do things bigger. Okay, so that concludes our session on the sister clubs. And now I'll move on to the World Peace and four-way test essay writing competition, which is also very beneficial for the youth tuning in right now. Now, the idea is very simple: to encourage youth and young adults to understand what world peace is all about. Now, this is targeted not just at current Rotaractors, but it's also a good way for Rotaractors to reach out to their peers and get them involved, because we want to build membership as well. So to help promote the four-way test as a credo and a benchmark, the four-way test is very simple, but how many of us actually apply it in our daily lives? Now, I think we should, and for those of y'all that are already doing it, well done. It's open to anyone in various categories from the ages of 17 to 22 to involve college, university, SPM, SPM school leavers, STPM and students as well, to expose participants and others to Rotary, Rotaract and the Interact family, and also involves attractive prizes in terms of university scholarships, and clubs can assist in the sponsorships. Now, the idea is to have a couple of categories, let's say from the 1st place to the 5th place, and to help people who participate in this essay writing competition to help pay off their tuition fees during this pandemic. Some of your parents may have lost their jobs, and also this is a good way to actually get a break. On top of that, to encourage new members to join. So Rotary clubs that currently have education funds, please reach out to us. You can actually sponsor a person and set the criteria for them, for example, to join a Rotaract club or Interact club that your club is sponsoring. So it's easy. Everything has been made simplified to make sure total participation from all categories. And like I said, a family that plays together stays together. So we want to make sure we do fun activities to encourage future membership. Any thoughts, Joshua and IAGs?
Yes, presidents, it is all in your hands. You have to work with your Interact chair to make this project a successful project. Okay, we have shown the way. Please do it.
I would say no man is an island. No one club is to be left isolated. So we want all the clubs to come together, work with the Rotary chair, and let us also put some attention towards the Rotaractors and Interactors in Rotary District 3300. Thank you.
That's all from us. If you have any questions, please remember us, our names and our faces. Those with education grants, please come and talk to us. Please reach out. We would really love to hear from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Presidents. Do well.
That was interesting. Thank you so much. Our final session before we go for lunch, we have incoming Assistant Governor Shirley Ho together with past Assistant Governor Raj Melambaram on membership development titled Each One Bring One. Let me share with you a little bit about these two presenters. Shirley Ho, she is a corporate trainer and event planner. She joined Rotary in the year 2013 and she's with Rotary Club of Subang. Some district portfolio that she have held was Assistant Governor 2021-2022, which is going to happen soon. District General Secretary 2 in the year 2022-2021, and District Rotaract Chair year 2018-2019. Then we have got past Assistant Governor Raj Melambaram. He's the Chair for Membership Development. Ladies, gentlemen, let's have them.
Greetings, President-elect, leaders, and my fellow Rotarians. How are you all today? And myself, Raj Melambaram, and this is my climbing partner for today, incoming Assistant Governor Shirley Ho. Yesterday, we heard our incoming governor who shared with us the vision for Rotary year 21-22. So do you remember the vision? Dream big, grow more, do more, serve to change lives. And we also heard an inspiring speech from our Rotary International incoming President Shekhar Mehta, who spoke about goals, achieving goals. And it was very inspiring to hear him talk about football. You know, many of us like football. And he said 20 men chase the ball, dribble the ball, and their goal is to reach the goal and to score the goal. So what's our goal for membership in 2021-22? That's what we're going to share with you today. All right. So Shirley, please introduce the first goal.
Yes. The first goal is to have 2 new clubs for the term. Now, 2 new clubs in the whole of our district is definitely achievable. Don't you agree with me? And when I tell you, especially on the type of clubs and the options that you have, in terms of the type of clubs that you can build, getting 2 new clubs is actually very, very easy. Now, the first type is what all of us, most of us at least know, which is the traditional clubs. Now, in a traditional club, like most of our clubs, we have a board of directors, we have our bylaws and constitutions, we meet regularly, and also it requires a minimum of 25 members to form such a club. Now, if that is too difficult to do, we have other options to be considered. Now, the other option, and the one that works very well in our current term, is satellite clubs. Now, satellite clubs only require minimum 8 members to form a club. And satellite clubs are more flexible in terms of the meeting timings and also where they meet. And also the good thing about satellite clubs is you don't need to be registered in ROS yet until they come to a level where they can then be a full-fledged club. Now, in our district, in this current term itself, we have already formed 6 satellite clubs, and that has contributed significantly to the membership growth in our district. So yeah, that's an option for you to consider. Now, if you don't want satellite clubs, we have even what we call a cost-based clubs. Now, if you know a group of people who share a common cause, a very good example would be the Rotary Club of Raman Putra. They came together because all of them share one common cause, which is badminton. And they use that common cause to serve back to the community. And they're doing very well. They have more than 40 members right now and growing. If cost-based club is not an option to consider, you have alumni-based clubs. Now, if you know of ex-participants of our RILA programs, our Rotary Foundation programs, gather them together because they're all like-minded. They were together once in our programs. Bring them together and form a club. Knowing that they all share a common interest, then they're able to use that as a platform to use it back to give it back to Rotary and also to serve the community. And if that is even not an option, we even have the e-clubs. Now, e-clubs primarily, they meet online. This is so suitable, especially when you have people who are traveling very often. They are here and there and everywhere. Or even if you have members who are based not where you would in your locality, this is a very good option to consider. Now, when you have such choices there, really, 2 new clubs, I think you can go more than 2 new clubs. Don't you agree with me, Raj?
I agree with that. We did it this year, this Rotary year, with 4 traditional clubs and 6 satellite clubs. Yeah. And with the additional ideas that Shirley gave on the e-clubs, which is a new norm now, everything is e. So why not? Especially for the youngsters. You know, Rotary, we are giving them a platform online to come and form a club and benefit from the membership. And the other will be the alumni, ex-Rotractors, ex-Rotarians. All right, so it's a good opportunity. Yes, two is achievable. All right, but let's not stop with 2, yeah? Let's not stop with 2. 2 is the minimum goal, yeah? So let's look at the next one.
The next one is a net gain of 200 plus members. Now, how do we achieve net gain of 200 plus members? Don't you agree with me? When we have increased membership, that will position your club to do more effective service project. All of us know that, right? And that's why there's that saying, new broom sweeps clean. Now, I'm not saying we don't need the old brooms, all right, because we definitely need them still. But when you have new members, they bring in that fresh breath. They give us that new ideas. They give you that different perspective to doing things. And that's why we need that. All right. And yes, I'm not saying that bringing in or attracting new members is easy, but what I'm saying is it will be definitely worth your effort. Why? Because the benefits are just tremendous. I can just quote you 2 benefits, all right? The first one is it's going to ease the burden of your current members. I mean, seeing the same old faces at every project and every activity of the club can be quite strenuous. Don't you agree with me? Now, when you start seeing new faces, when you start seeing younger members, especially in clubs where the members are more senior, or when you see more women, you know, that just brings that excitement back to the club, not only in terms of the type of projects that they'll be doing, but it just rejuvenates the whole spirit in the club. Secondly, when you have increased membership, you are able to form subcommittees. Now, when you have subcommittees or smaller teams within the club is then able to be more focused in what they want to do or in trying to achieve their goals. So it's very important that at the end of the day, every member who comes to your club, you're able to match their talent to where it really matters. And you can only do that when you have an increased membership and you are able to be more focused through subcommittees in the club. Don't you agree with me, Raj?
Well, I agree. New members bring fresh ideas, fresh resources, and fresh network. Right, but you're going to get a lot of calls from seniors for mentioning that word, yeah. And also, I like to remind PEs, yesterday, incoming Governor Bindi also mentioned that her goal is each club to have 2 new members, plus 2, yeah. That's a minimum requirement that she's giving you, minimum 2, irrespective of your club size. I think that's fantastic, achievable. All right, so I'll share with you the next 2 goals, but before I share the next 2 goals, I would like to ask you a question, right? We love television. All of us have television at home, right? The bigger it is, the better for us, right? And a television, the purpose of the television is not met when it's empty. A television needs channels and the channel needs programs to keep you engaged with the purpose of purchasing the television. It's similar for a Rotary Club, all right? The channels are your members. All right, the more channels, the more members you got, the more exciting it is. And the programs in the television are the activities that you do in your Rotary Club, whether it's a meeting, whether it's a fellowship, or any activity or events. All right, so that's very important. Why I said that? Because the next goal is to strengthen our engagement. When I speak about engagement, it's more on meeting attendance, right? Participation, giving ideas, coming forward. All right, yesterday we heard the 5 presidents in the panel speaking about the amount of projects they have done, the meetings they have changed the format, right? But that's all those ideas, we can only implement it when the members come forward. For them to come forward, to commit, to engage is when we change ourselves. We heard about adaptability earlier. We have to adapt. We have to adapt to the new change, the new norm. All right, Rotary can adapt. And the next one, which related, is retention. For the past many years, we have a big problem that called the leaking bucket, where we add members and there's a leakage at the bottom where you add 4, 2 leaves. You add 3, 5 leaves. All right. So we have to look into the retention. Why are they leaving? All right. Many clubs, different reasons. All right. Like one solution don't fit all club. So I can't really tell you this is what you got to do. All right, we got to analyze your club. You got to do the health check. You have to find out why are they leaving. Do an exit interview, or when they come in, do a expectation interview. All right, why do you join Rotary? What do you expect from Rotary? All right, so as a president, you need to understand your members' needs and the members' interests. When we understand why they join Rotary, what are they expecting from Rotary, that's when we can sit and plan. All right. So our Rotary purpose is not only for helping the community. We also need to understand our members, help our members to fulfill their interests. Shelley, agree?
Agree.
Yes, good. But you got to say something. Don't just say agree. All right. So we have seen the goals and we got one big idea. All right. One very big idea. You know what is that? Shelley, do you know what is it?
Of course I know.
Why are you saying yes to everything?
I have to. I have no choice.
The one big idea here is each one bring one. I know Shekhar Mehta's vision, yeah? Our RI president's vision, our district governor's vision. This is also should be your vision, your goal. Each one bring one. Each one bring a friend. Each one bring a neighbor. Each one bring a cousin. All right? As long as you bring one. Easy said, right? Easy said, yeah?
Always.
That's what they're saying, oh, Raj, easy said. Yeah, each one bring one. You got 365 days. Yeah, one day I can bring one, yeah? It's possible. But before we say it's possible, we got to plan ourselves. All right, we got to be ready to bring one. So how do we do that, Shirley?
Well, the first approach naturally is in education and promotion of Rotary membership, purpose and benefits. It's very important that we need to focus on educating our members first about the purpose and benefits of Rotary. Now, if our own members do not have the pride in Rotary. Yesterday we heard about pride of workmanship. Today, I'm telling you, each Rotarian need to have the pride of Rotaryship in them. If you don't have that in them, then how are you going to go out there, attract and bring one to your club? All right, so it starts first with the pride of Rotaryship in each Rotarian. How do we do that? We need to educate our members. There are various ways in which we can do that, which we are going to help you, because like what Raj said, there's no one solution for every club. So we're going to give you a couple of solutions, and then you take the one that best fits your club's culture and demographics. And of course, when I talk about purpose, what is the purpose and benefit of Rotary? Remember what Alvin spoke yesterday about purpose? He said, you need to understand the why. That is so important. So once you know what is your why, then the how and the what comes into being. Of course, the how is when you explain to a new prospect is join Rotary. That's how. And what would be your goals? And it should be one of the goals that every club should be striving is increase club membership. That should be the goal moving forward for every club, regardless whether you're 100 PAX members or if you're a 10 PAX member club. That should be one of your primary goals. That is the purpose here. When we talk about benefits, what do a Rotarian gain from joining Rotary? What do you gain from joining Rotary? There's so many. If you remember the iceberg picture, what you see on top is just so few, but what's underneath is like so much more, which we can't measure. Things like the kind of friendship and bonding that we'll have with so many Rotarians, not only within our district, but even internationally. I'm talking about the learning skills that you will gain from Rotary, the leadership skills that you gain just by taking part in our projects, in the roles that you partake in the club. I'm also looking at the positive values, the self-development that you get as a Rotarian, which you probably would not find out there. And then we look at the international connections, of course. You know, Rotary is an international organization. So, of course, we'll get connected with all the other Rotary clubs, you know, around the world, and it expands our connections. And not to mention, of course, even the business networking that happens within Rotary itself. So, it has to be a win-win situation here. So every Rotarian need to understand that, you know, when you know that, that's when you are able to share that with the public out there, be it your family member, be it your cousin, as what Raj said, or even your friend out there. You must be exuding the Rotary pride out of you. And that is that attraction factor that would want them to turn around to you and tell you, what does it take for me to join Rotary? That's what you should be hearing from each and every person that you meet out there. Don't you agree with me, Raj?
Yeah. Now they think we have planned this, don't you think? Yes, we did, yeah. But yeah, you nailed it. You nailed it, yeah. Education is promotion is very, very important. All right. There's a saying that it's easy to induct a new member, but it's tough to retain the member. That is very true, right? So we join Rotary, we have many plans, we have many whys, but along the way, it fades away. Or we forget about the purpose, why? All right, so this education is internally first. We want to educate and promote this Rotary purpose and your Rotary benefits to our members first. Once they accept and they agree, then it's easy for them to go out there, tell another person, why did I join Rotary? And these are the benefits I achieved from Rotary. I developed myself. I improved my career. I improved my business. And it helped my family life too. My wife stops yelling at me. She stops beating me up because I'm mature. Thank you to Rotary. Yeah, many benefits. Yeah, many benefits. You are right, Shelley. You are right. All right, the next. To support each one, bring one, we would like to celebrate and recognize every new induction and every new member sponsorship. You heard Shekhar Mehta saying yesterday that he will personally welcome every new member. I assume he'll send an email. But this incoming district governor, Dr. Bindi, she said she will call the new member to welcome the new member. But ask yourself, if a district governor calls you and welcomes you to Rotary, how would you feel? Right? It's a great, inspiring opening or first step into Rotary. We want to create that. We want to create a blast in yourself. We want you to feel floating and flying on your first day in Rotary. The district governor welcomes you. The induction is grand. There you go. Right? And every members who sponsor a new member, we would like to be present at your club meeting and present a certificate. Recognize that effort. Whether it's easy or it was tough, doesn't matter. We want to recognize your effort, your support to us to bring a new member to Rotary. Right? Is that good? Yeah?
I'm not going to say yes, but yes, it's good.
You should. All right. So now, president-elects. All right? Presidents-elects. We can't do this alone. The membership committee can't do this alone. The district governor can't do on her own. We need you. We need one thing from you. Right? Now, focus. We need one thing from you. Right? Are they looking at me? Yeah, one thing from you. All right? All we need from you is this. Belief. We need you to believe first You need to believe that you can bring that one member. And you need to believe that you can make or convince or inspire or motivate your club members each to bring one member. You need to believe that you can grow your club that +2 net gain. You need to believe that. You need to believe that when your club grows, it benefits the members and the community. You need to believe that when your club grows, you can do bigger project and you can dream big. So you got to believe. If you don't believe, we can't do this. We are doing this for you. As the leader of the club, the belief comes from you first. So, you know what you're thinking now? Okay, Raj, I believe you. I believe you. What is it in it for me or my club? Is that wrong for them to think? No, it's not wrong. It's not wrong at all. All right? There should be something for you to believe and to do something, right? Right? It should be strong. All right? So what is it? What's the benefit to my club?
No, but then Raj, yes, I think most of us and even the president-elects out there, we believe you.
Yeah.
All right. But then the pertaining question that's in our head right now is, how do we go back and convince our club members to also believe in this one great idea?
That's a good question. Yeah, good question. That's the other thing they're thinking, right? Yeah. So let me tell you, this is what you can tell your members, right? This is what you can tell yourself and tell your members. How it benefits bigger membership. How does it benefit the club? Develop strength of your members and Rotary interests, right? It does. Because Shirley listed down the benefits earlier from leadership, learning leadership skills, business networking, attaining positive values, having friendship, and international connection, right? It develops, it strengthens members' development. That's one, all right? Second, it makes your club attractive. Don't you want guests to line up at your club? And don't you want to give them number to say, come this week, you come next week, all right? That should be our long-term vision, to make our club attractive online and also in person. We want guests to send us email. I would like to know about you. All right. We want them to send a Facebook message. Your project is fantastic. I'd like to know more about this. So how do we do that? We have to make our club attractive. Then we build bigger resource pool for our club. When I talk about resource pool, it's about more ideas. You got a big resource of ideas for projects where you can do many projects. You heard the president, 2 presidents mentioned yesterday. One president mentioned she did 50 projects in 5 months. Another president mentioned her target is 70 projects the whole year. How can we do that? When we have bigger pool, more members bring more ideas. More members bring more hands. More members bring more funds. All right, so growing the club is very, very important. As I said, you can help more people. When you do bigger projects, when you do more projects, you help more people. You build more communities. Isn't that why we are in Rotary?
Exactly.
To help people, to build community, to develop ourselves. Are these benefits attractive for you, Shirley?
I think this itself will be a good basis, at least, I think, for our president-elects to go back and to convince our club members.
The reason I asked Shirley, because she's the incoming governor. She got 5 presidents looking up to her. Oh, future incoming governor. Sorry, incoming assistant governor, Shirley. She got 5 presidents under her. And she needs to make them believe so that they can bring the belief to the members. Yeah. So, having heard of all this, we understand the goal. We believe you, Raj. We believe you, Shirley. What's the plan? What's the plan? Right? Are you asking that? What's the plan? What's the plan, Shirley?
What's the plan?
What's the plan?
We have to tell them.
Well, the plan is to see you in DTA.
Yes.
And we will tell you what's the plan. All right? So thank you very much. All right? We'll see you in DTA. Yeah, DTA.
No questions, right?
No questions, right?
Thank you very much, membership development team. Yeah, so they will see you in DTA. So be ready. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are done with part 3 of the 2-day event. Let's take a break, and we shall connect again after lunch at 1:45 p.m. Remember, use the same link.